Yo, welcome back here. We've got the YouTube tape episode 10. Today we're going to be starting with the drums. I'm going to play the Maschine over here on the keys. We're actually going to be using the drums in Maschine using audio hijack. I'm going to test out a bunch of kits. We're going to play a bunch of beats live, and then we're going to drag and drop them into Ableton. Alright, cool, moving forward. So now I have all these loops chopped up. You can see that I shut off the clips that I didn't want to use, and then anything that I liked, I selected and I marked red. The next thing here is I thought I would just play back some of the loops. We could listen to them live together, and you would see how they sound isolated and looped up. I really like the kick on this. Dope. Crunchy, dirty, weird, wonky. Like when it flams right and everything, like, and the hi-hat and the snare are just kind of like clattering together. It sounds so cool. Like groove is awesome. Cool. Kind of dry and slappy. Definitely can crush it into a drum bus. And you get the picture. So as you can see here, I've selected a loop, and this is from the live drums that I recorded from Maschine using audio hijack, and I imported them into Ableton. I then selected my favorite from these different loops. I think this one was my favorite right here. It's kind of wonky beat. So now we've isolated it, we copy pasted it to the end, and you can see that it's extended over the bar and that the BPM of the project file is 184. We don't want that, obviously. We want it to loop continuously and be lined up with the grid. So what we're going to do now is make sure that warp is disabled, which it is. Then we're going to start to drag the tempo of the file back so that it lines up along the grid. And as you can see here, moving it from 184 to about 173 point something, we have it almost line up towards the end of the measure. Let me pull it back again. See, now it's going too crazy. This is where we had it, and that is to the end of a bar. So that's if I just extend it a little bit instead of changing the BPM. Now let's hear it, especially if I put on the metronome. Okay, yes and no. There's a few things wrong with it. The first thing wrong with it is that this loop doesn't start on the downbeat. It actually starts on the of the previous bar. So it goes A1. So what we want to do here is line this up. This is the downbeat now. You can also see that because I have the kick delayed and the hi-hat rushed, that the hi-hat lands first. I try to like flam it specifically for that. That's what you want to have punctuate your mix. So you want to have that land just a little bit before the kick. And then the kick transient comes in right after that. Anyway, I'm going to line up the very beginning of the bar here with the beginning of the hi-hat. And you can see the kick is a little bit delayed. That means now that when we copy paste this and loop it up, we just have to be conscious that yes, this is a little bit before the beginning of the bar. So now let's listen to it, the metronome. Sounds okay to me. All right, so then the other thing is that this is obviously double time, like 173.4. What's that divided in half? 170 is like 85, right? So that's about like 86.7. Is that correct? Is this 86.7 BPM? Let's verify. 173.4 divided by 2, 86.7 BPM. Mental math, woo. So if I go up to here and I type this in as 86.7, you can see that it's now halftime, but still takes up the same amount of space technically. And so the metronome is now just halftime. But we don't even need to do that, to be honest. I kind of like keeping it double time. So I'm going to bring it back up to 173.4. What we're going to do is just loop this up, and then I'm going to play some keys over the top. go.